Have you ever wondered the fuel economy difference between the diesel and gas engine found in the Yukons? I'll show that to you today, and I'll show you the performance. I borrowed these SUVs from Jerry Seiner, GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. Be sure to ask for Frank. They have a lot of these available for sale. Let's go ahead and drive the 6.2 liter first, which is this blue one, and then we'll drive the diesel right after. What's nice about this test is one of these has the 22-inch wheels without air suspension, and then one has the 24-inch wheels with the air suspension. And we're in the one with the 22-inch wheels with the non-air suspension. So this is the 6.2. And why would you buy this engine over the diesel? Obviously it's because you want power and lots of it. You guys will hear the horsepower and torque numbers later in the video, but for right now, what's nice about having this engine is it is a very powerful gasoline engine. I think that for someone buying this, you have to expect to use premium. I mean, that's the only reason why you're buying this engine is because you want the performance. So why would you use regular? You can use regular, but the advertised horsepower and torque numbers that you get out of this engine are for premium fuel, so just keep that in mind. But one thing I like about these larger SUVs is they are large and in charge, as they call it. And it does feel that way, but this doesn't feel that big on the road as you would expect. And having the 6.2 liter is pretty nimble. Like if you need to pass one at 60 miles an hour, oh yeah, I mean, this thing has really good power. This has the Super Cruise, so if you want to have this thing drive you, it has that option. So all you gotta do is hit the cruise control, hit this button right here, and when this goes green, you can just relax. Now if you want to go faster, you want to tell your SUV to go faster, you can actually increase the speed. And if there's a car in front of you, it'll actually change lanes. Now you have to keep your eyes forward. You can't take your eyes off the road, and you 100% can't be on your phone. And that's the only way this is going to work. And what's nice about this is if you are going on a long trip, this really takes a lot of the fatigue out of your driving. So it's going to hit the brakes for you. Like right now, that car jumped over just now, hit the brakes. It might even change lanes here at some point. It may not, because there's a lot of cars on the road. But yeah, right there, just this is the best self-driving I've seen. I've used some out of the Ford, and I think Ford's still trying to figure things out. But yeah, this one works really flawlessly. Now granted, I have to get over, but I just want to show you like how far these cars have come. And when you see the prices of these things, they are expensive. I'm not going to sit here and discount that, but they have become so much more technologically advanced that it's kind of scary, right? Let's go ahead and drive that diesel. If you buy this engine, you're not buying it for performance, you're buying it for fuel economy, for sure. Now down low, this engine is torquey, and so you don't notice the difference in the horsepower from about 0 to about 40 or so. Once you get over 50, you start to notice this thing doesn't have as much horsepower. It is torquey though, down low. That's where that torque really helps you out the line. But after that, it becomes a horsepower race, and you know who's going to win it. But this having the air suspension with 24s, here's what I'll tell you. If you can get the air suspension, get the air suspension. Even with these larger wheels, I don't really notice any difference. Now, if it didn't have air suspension, it's possible it would feel a little bit more of a jolt from these larger wheels, but nope, it rides exactly the same with this setup here. And I think I would always get this for sure. Obviously, we have to always look at reliability, but most people buying these things brand new don't keep them more than 3 or 4 years anyway, so it'll be under factory warranty for the most part. But what do you guys think about this interior? I think that when it all is said and done, I just like lighter color interiors. Your ventilated seats are going to work better in the summertime. The interior is going to stay a little bit cooler compared to that black interior, and it just feels more airy inside of here. This is what we like, my wife and I. We like this. I like the wood treatment better with this too. And let me go ahead and speed up too. So if I need to pass one, yeah, this thing is, it feels slow. And you know, when you're over 65 miles an hour, I mean, you're really gonna feel like it's a 4-cylinder, or well, I'll just call it what it is. It'll feel like a 6-cylinder, because with 305 horsepower, which you'll hear more about that in a second, that's where this engine just doesn't feel like it has the grunt. But if you're someone who's on the highway constantly, you do a lot of highway driving, oh my goodness, this is the engine to have. Now, I'm a diesel fanboy, and I have to be honest and truthful with you. Most people probably should just skip this engine option simply because of the emissions equipment. So if you're not someone who's going to drive on the highway a lot, or if you're someone who idles a lot, especially when you go pick up your kids from school, this option might be an issue because of the diesel particulate filter, and you have an added cost with that because of the regens and DEF. So sometimes the gas engine might make more sense for most people, but again, for someone like me, if I bought this engine, we're cruising, we're not getting on an airplane. I want to get this engine so I can get the better fuel economy, because I mean, 24 gallon, or actually no, this is a 28 gallon fuel tank with the XL, and I believe it's a 24 gallon with the standard size. So you're still going to get, I mean, figure at least on the low end on the highway 26, 27. I mean, I know that sticker says 24, but I think you can easily get 26, 27, and when it breaks in, even better. We're back at the 6.2 liter, and we just got off the highway. We're at 16.2 MPG. I'll let you guys see it again here at the midpoint. Now, obviously, you don't buy the gas engine for fuel economy. I'm just gonna tell you right now, you're buying this because you want performance and performance only. We'll see what it'll get for fuel economy, obviously, but it's not gonna get nowhere near what that diesel can. And this thing is so smooth, even with the coiled suspension, right? This is so smooth. Even when you hit bumps in the road, you don't really notice it. And I like the visibility out the back too. Great visibility for this. And when you're cruising along on the highway, I believe this has a 323 rear, so it does run at lower RPMs. We're going almost 70 miles an hour, and we're what, right at 1500 RPMs? Let's get up to 70, let's see what happens. Look at that, we're right at 1500 RPMs. So you cruising at 70 miles an hour, you can easily get great fuel economy out of this thing. Now, hopefully I'll remember to show it to you on the other one. But if you want to see some of your gauges, here's some of your temperature gauges. That is so nice. Love that. You guys see that? Oh, man, 22 MPGs. And let's go ahead and check out those temperatures too, so that way you guys can have an idea of how this compares. See, I can't look at this and actually drive, so there it is, gauges. So you guys see the temperatures. I try to let them idle about the same time before I take off. But you guys will see right here. Yeah, same gearing. And you guys see how it just downshifted? It needs lower gears, because you're down on the horsepower. With that 6.2, you have more power in every gear, which means you don't really need the downshifts. But yeah, overall, this is still a really nice SUV, for sure. So here are the numbers on the door. And then this is the curb weight with the payload, just so you have an idea of how heavy these are. And then this is that black interior. And remember, this is the 6.2 liter versus, I like this so much better, for sure. It's gonna be hard to keep clean, but it's worth it. And then real quickly, here are the numbers on the door for this diesel. And curb weight with payload. So we just got off yet again. We're going to come to a complete stop. This does have the auto stop start, so that's gonna help a little bit with fuel economy. In the summertime, you're not gonna get much benefit because you're running an AC and it's just gonna kick back on pretty quickly. But yeah, you guys see the fuel economy for trip 1, we're at 18.8. That's really good, but I'm about to mess that fuel economy up because we're not hypermiling this. We're going to get the performance numbers out of this MPG run too. And this should average it out to give you the actual number you would get like if you're cruising 60% on the highway, 40% in the city. Let's check out what that diesel is doing. In the diesel, you guys see that? That is amazing. 24.6 MPG, and we're just coasting. We're gonna catch the light just like we did with the 6.2 liter, but as I said, the cup holders caught my phone, by the way. This is why you buy the diesel. That way you can get the better fuel economy. Now, I did not see that this stop start worked for either SUV, by the way. Has not come on for either, and I personally wouldn't use it with this one because of the turbo, and turning a diesel on and off is not the greatest thing. Now, if I put it in tow haul mode, let me see something real quick. Tow haul mode, right here. So even with the Yukon, you do have a exhaust brake. So if you do plan on towing with this, that's an added benefit for having the diesel to help give you that better braking if you're going down a grade. With the 6.2 liter, even at 80 miles an hour, you guys see that? We're like at like 17 or 1800 RPM. Again, that's where these 10 speeds and these higher gearings make a big difference compared to, you know, the earlier years of these Tahoes. Even when they went to the 6-speed transmission, they probably were still using a 373 maybe. So you're gonna run at a higher RPM. Now, it was definitely a upgrade compared to the 4 and 5 speeds, but yeah, overall, this thing is just really nice. I mean, the ventilated seats work really good. You have this large display that just points out everything great. Wireless charger down there, and you have that 4K camera. With the diesel, yep, like I said, the same gearing, same 10 speed. And then one last look at the fuel economy. Now really quickly, guys, just so you know, this is the altitude that we're at, and this is the density altitude that we're at. So when you see the performance numbers, just know I'm at a lot higher altitude compared to people at sea level. So that's why the performance numbers come in the way they do. So there it is. This is the 6.2 liter V8, good for 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. All that power does go through a 10-speed transmission. Let's see how it accelerates. Here we go.
30. 60.
So the diesel is going to have 305 horsepower. So we know that the 6.2 liter has it beat, but this does have 495 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes through a 10-speed transmission. Let's see how it performs. Here we go.
$30. 60.
All right, here's where we are. 17.7 MPG, 14 miles driven. Let's see what the Duramax did. That's amazing. 24.6 MPG. So which one are you guys taking? Diesel or gas? Now, if you don't know, getting a Denali trim is going to give you a $1,500 credit for that diesel option. So deleting the 6.2 for the diesel, $1,500 credit back in your pocket. But keep in mind, diesel exhaust fluid, the diesel particulate filter, when it gets full of soot, the regeneration process is going to reduce that fuel economy by 3 to 4 MPG. Now, it won't be as bad as what you saw for the 6.2 liter, but you also need to run a fuel additive if you're going to get a diesel engine as well, simply because they took out the sulfur in the diesel over the course of the last, what, 2 decades? So, yes, buying the diesel comes with a lot of, it's like buying a handicap animal, like, I don't know what they call them, like, it's a rescue animal, that's what it's called. You're gonna have some issues with that animal, right? You're gonna have to really massage this diesel a lot more so than when you would if you bought the gas engine, because the only negative is the premium fuel that you have to burn for this, but it's not required, it is recommended, right? Let's go check that out real quick. See right here? Premium fuel recommended. In other words, if you're getting a 6.2, just burn premium. But I hope you guys liked the video. I liked this Duramax with the 24s and the air suspension. It rode just like this one here with the 22s. I think that depending on what you're looking for, yes, I think that the 6.2 makes more sense. At these higher altitudes, it does seem a little bit more sluggish, but I bet you at sea level, this would have done a whole lot better compared to this one. And this one would have done a little bit better too, but not as good as this one for sure. But be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts down below. See you soon.